must say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet, around the world. I'm Greg Prescott from In5D, and today I have a special guest with me, Jennie Byers. Hi, Jennie.
Hi, Greg. Nice to be here. Finally, after all these years.
It is, you know, I don't know if you knew I was going to do this or not, but um,
Mm-mm.
yeah. Oops, hang on. Cancel, cancel. Yeah.
Are
Let's,
you going to pull up like an old photo?
yes,
Are you really?
yeah, and here it
From like
is.
back in the day? Mhm.
No, not that kind. Not that old.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we have actually met here in
Mhm.
Siesta Key, and yeah, I had some serious beach hair going on there, but
Yeah.
you look fine. I look like a beach bum.
Well, I have a sunburn. I clearly have a sunburn.
Anyway,
It was
um,
fun. That was
it
really fun.
it was nice to definitely meet up with you. Let me
Hmm.
give everybody a little rundown, and you can correct me if I'm wrong about anything. Jenny's a multidimensional light language translator. She incarnated remembering how to interpret light language naturally, which is our first language, and has experienced interdimensional communication throughout her life. As a child, she experienced direct communication from an energy she understood to be God. As a teenager, over a period of several years, she was visited by and taught by her Native American spirit guide, Silver Spoon. He showed her how to protect herself as she walked between worlds. He explained that she would be doing this for many years and needed a deeper understanding of the unseen realms. Jenny later learned that her direct ancestral line goes back to the,
Chickamauga.
thank you, the head of the Chickamauga Cherokee Nation. When Jenny was in her mid 20s, she experienced another powerful event on her spiritual path. Her mom, Kitty, explained that Kitty's soul showed her she would be leaving soon. Kitty was told that the two of them had a contract to work together. Kitty knew she was going to move on to the other side of the veil to assist Jenny on her journey. Shortly thereafter, although Kitty had been healthy her entire life, Kitty was diagnosed with leukemia and transitioned 3 weeks later. Kitty worked closely with Jenny ever since. Jenny plays an important role, or I'm sorry, Kitty plays an important role in Jenny's spiritual journey and spiritual path, and they work as a team to assist others to heal trauma and reconnect with loved ones who have transitioned. Jenny shares her journey as well as the process and training she was given by her spirit family. Together, she and her spirit family, as well as her earth mother, assist those who desire to activate their multidimensional ability to connect directly with higher dimensions. This is the purest form of connecting for each of us, and ultimately what humanity will be doing collectively when we reach a state of expanded consciousness. She offers private or group sessions where spirit guides the experience of a vortex 0 point high energy journey into the quantum field of higher dimensional realities. Jenny's the founder of Spirit Reunion Sanctuary, a 15-acre educational spiritual retreat for healing and community located in the Cherokee Mountains of East Tennessee. And that's where you're coming from
Mhm.
your grandmother chair, you said.
My granny chair here in my cabin here in East Tennessee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
East Tennessee, y'all.
Yeah, I get to say y'all now. I came from Indianapolis, so I never said y'all. But now that I'm here, I love saying y'all. I say all
All
the
y'all.
time.
I know it's so redundant saying
Hmm.
that, but
Yep.
it's hard not to say,
It's
right?
hard not to. It's so fun. It just lightens everything up when you say all y'all.
All
Everybody,
y'all.
it's a frequency shifter for sure.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
So bring us back to the beginning. You've had this ability and talent since you were a kid.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, and I always tell people it was active in my genetic line. And that's actually a thing. So my family was actively using it. And I figured this out when I was working in professional racing because I came from Indianapolis. I was in professional racing. I was controller. I did accounting, and so Indy 500. And I realized these drivers would come in, and like a lot of these, the parents were drivers, and you'd see the kids come in, and these kids could just naturally drive race cars. And I was like, that's so bizarre. Like, is that being passed down? Like, these kids have never been on the track. They just get on the track at 10, 12, and they're amazing drivers. And I was like, this is genetic. And then I realized for me that this is genetic because whatever you're using actively, you're going to pass down your genetic. It's almost like your genes are alive. They're active, and it's makes it easier for us to access those gifts of our parents. And this is what I had in my family. I'm able to hear because my family were using it. My grandpa, like all the way up my line, my grandma, the story passed down, and she read tea leaves, and she was like the town little mountain medium, and she also delivered babies in exchange for a chicken. I mean, all these hilarious things. But I'm like, yeah, it's all there, and it's like, okay, now I understand why as a little kid I could hear, and it was natural for me.
So as early as you can remember, you always heard that then.
Hmm. Yeah, and
Interesting.
it's yeah, my dad was a preacher. So that even makes it more interesting
Hmm.
because I'm being taught about Jesus and God. And so when I'm hearing spirit talk to me, that's how I know it because that's what I'm taught. I'm not taught about talking to my grandma on the other side. I'm taught about praying to God. And so when this communication happens, not the first, but the communication that I remember the most is I'm walking on my grandpa's farm, and that energy comes in, and in those of us that are connected, it's like a download or a knowing. It's just a presence. And when that presence came in, first of all, it was always funny, hilarious. Okay, it was never serious. I'm a little kid, and I would always start laughing. I'd always get this giggly energy. It was very light, and it said to me when I was 4 years old, I'll never forget, it said to me, look, you've arrived on earth, and go create whatever you want. I fully will protect you. I've got you. You're protected. Go do and create whatever you want. And I just remember laughing out loud and just feeling it, knowing it. And it was so present for me, and I didn't understand that that wasn't the case for others, but it was innocent and it was loving and it was funny. And it wasn't like I was sitting there, having full conversations with spirits. It was just a presence that was always there that felt like home to me.
You said that you mentioned your friends. You maybe your friends wouldn't understand. Did you try explaining that to them, or did you say, "Don't you hear this?" Or look,
Hmm.
can't you see that? Do you remember ever saying that?
I don't. And that's so funny because the me now would have totally done that. But the me then, it felt like it was private and sacred. I think I just was so naturally connected and that I understood that that was just private and that was sacred and it was just for me.
And it's interesting that you've heard that ever since you can remember.
Hmm.
And I have something similar, and I'm wondering if it's, I don't know what it is, honestly. Well, I do, but it's similar. Where ever
Hmm.
since I was a kid, I heard voices, but it was like a male and a female voice layered on top of each other. It would only happen at night when I was about to fall asleep, when I was getting into that alpha state.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, it was these beings from Zeta Reticuli that were,
Mm.
and they never said anything bad to me. And I questioned, even where Zeta Reticuli, and this was years ago, and I had no idea that that was even a place. So I'm like, ah, bullshit. And I typed it up, and there it was.
Uh-huh.
But I decided I didn't want to communicate with them because I already have a direct line with Source.
Mm.
Source already gave me In5D and led me
Hmm.
into this other direction. But I'm just wondering, when you hear, or how is that process with you? Because I actually tangibly heard the voice, and as I was thinking of my next question, like my one of the questions was, how is this possible? I got the how out, and they're already answering. So
Yeah.
is it telepathy? Is it done
Hmm.
like that?
Yeah, and then it's also different for everybody. We all have different ways that our abilities are all different and unique. So we all translate differently. We all experience it differently, which is great. You know, it's not just one size fits all. Like it's got to be this way. No, it's amazing how vast it is because it's quantum. And quantum comes in so many different ways and it's layers upon layers. You know, I tell people, you know, linear's flat, it's flat and it's like one thing. When you're accessing the quantum field, you're getting multiple things at once that ties to multiple things. And so the more expansive we become and the more we have our mind open to possibilities, we're actually able to get more and more, connect more and more dots. You know, it's all based on our own consciousness.
I'm a firm believer that the millisecond is probably even divided into probably 100,000 different numbers from the instant that you are born. That is your complete, unique energy signature. Twins can never have the
Hmm.
same energy signature, even though they're born in the same spot, maybe a second or two apart. Everyone has their own unique energy signature. And I'm thinking, listening to you talk about this, I'm thinking that that's how our guides, maybe how the Zeta connected with me, how you're connecting with your guides or
Yeah.
your peeps on the other side. We
Yeah.
have that one particular frequency that nobody else can contact us through except for that one unique frequency. And I'm wondering if that's tied into how you're doing things and maybe how the Zetas were able to connect with me.
You know, I think that some of these things are actually pre-established before we come in. So I feel like, especially like with my mom, like our souls had braided prior. There's braids, there's agreements, like there's just things that are kind of put into a resonance field before so that we recognize it as well when it happens here. There's just so many things that are pre-orchestrated for this particular experience. Um, yeah, and I feel like my mom in particular, when you're braided here, so part of the reason I came in as her daughter was because we had already planned all this. So when I came in as her daughter, my mom was actually a walk-in, so she didn't wake up until really wake up, even though she was connected. She didn't wake up fully till I was about 14. And at that point, what I understand now is we come from the same essence. And so she is an aspect and a fragment of the same essence that I'm a fragment of. And my fragment actually came into her, merged with her, and then taught me for the next 15 years before she died, which is mind-blowing, but it's true. And after she died, I mean, I actually put these pieces together later, but I mean, I'm 29 when she died, and she worked with me since I was 14 because before that, she was a different person. She really was a different person. And so once that aspect of the higher came into her, when she was dying, I was told by the hospital, you know, she's going, you know, she's not going to be here tomorrow. And I went and I laid on the floor and I was crying. I was crying so hard. I was just so devastated. I never lost anyone. And even though she told me, it was just traumatic. And I'm laying on the floor and I all of a sudden this energy comes over me. I was like, I am not ready, because the last thing she said to me before she died is, I'm going to be talking to you all the time. You know this, like we've contracted to do this. And I said, I'm not going to hear you. I'm going to ruin this. Like, I'm not going to hear you, because I just was so traumatized. I was like, no, I'm going to blow this whole entire thing. You know, I'm going to suck at this, mom. She's like, no, because you're my mom. I'm your mom. You will. And that's the last word she said to me, other than you can't go around crying all the time. That's what she said. Um, and I was like, I'll show you. I can cry if I want to. So then I was laying there and I was like, I'm not ready. Okay. I'm not ready. Nope. Contract. I need to rewrite. Okay. Change my mind. I don't care what I had agreed to. And this portal opens up above me and she's hovered above me and she looks down at me and she goes, I'm not your mom.
Oh my.
And I was like, "What are you are so crazy. What are you talking?" I was always like, "Mom, you're so crazy." You know, she's always telling me so many crazy things. And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "I'm not your mom. I am you and you are me." And she said, "And I came in as your guide." And I'm going to continue to guide you. I'm going to be closer than ever. And so that was my first really powerful experience after she died. And then I had so many, I mean, just endless amounts of amazing.
Now, you said she was a different person up until you were 14. And interestingly, she only lived another 14 years. So, like half your life, you were basically living with someone that was completely different than the other half. And I find that number interesting too, because I'm looking at your mom. She knew, and you knew on the other side that she was going to exit one way or the other, whether it's leukemia or some other way. And
Yes,
you guys
that's
knew
another
that.
thing. It
You
didn't
already knew
matter how she went.
exactly. And I think that was part of your soul plan by, and this is why I think by the age of 14 that she had to have that walk in. My daughter was conceived on my 33rd birthday, master number.
Right.
And I knew that she was coming in because I wasn't on my path. At the time, I'm playing lead rhythm guitar in bands and just doing crap that I shouldn't have been doing. But I ended up going to college and got my master's degree and all this stuff. But if it wasn't for her, ultimately, In5D would not be here. We wouldn't be talking right now. So I know she had something in her soul contract that said, I'm coming in by a certain time. And I'm wondering, excuse me, I'm wondering if there's something similar with your mom, that if by the time you're 14, which 1 + 5 is, or 1 + 4 is a 5, so that's change. I wonder if she said, I'm coming in.
Yeah.
And getting that walk in, and we're going to work on this for at least half your life.
Yes. I mean, looking back on this, I tell people all the time, we always have to live in reverse. Like we're kind of in the upside down inverted. It's like we understand everything in reverse. And it's like I have to look back on it to put the pieces together. And it was definitely amazing the way that everything was orchestrated. And it was so orchestrated so perfectly and so beautifully, even if I didn't understand it at the time. Because right after she woke up when I was 14, Silver Spoon came in when I was 15. And, I look back at this, I'm like, that man well, he's not a man, he's a spirit, but he shows up in my bedroom, scares me to death. And then, I'm trying to figure out what is going on with that. Yeah. And, so he worked with me for 5 years.
Did you physically see him? Did he have like a headdress on or anything like that?
Okay, so yeah. So,
what was he wearing?
All right, so at that time, I could feel him and I could see, I see like they're blurry. So I have blurry third eye vision. I still do. Okay, so I could see him, but I couldn't see details. But my grandma saw him and she saw details. And she said that he was hanging. We had a stairwell. And she said he was hanging in the stairwell from the waist up at full buckskin. And she said she goes, he's good looking. My grandma said that. I was like, of course he is, Grandma. He's going to be a good looking guy because he's mine, right? But I just thought it was so funny. I was like, oh my gosh, and I had just called him. So I had just called him in. She left the room.
No, his name was Silver Spoon.
Yeah. So the way I figured out his name was my mom went to see this medium, and they start telling her about him. They said, there's an Indian here and he works with your daughter, your middle daughter, your He called me bubbly. I have a cassette tape. He works with your bubbly middle daughter, and he wants her to know his name. And he goes, I can't get it. It's Silver something. So then she goes to see this woman like a year later. And she goes, your daughter has an Indian around her named Silver Spoon. And I heard the tape of that, and I was just so blown away because I don't get names very well. I still don't get names very well. So names are not my strong suit, but he gave me his name. And I mean, it couldn't be any clearer. I was just blown away by that. Wow. And also the fact that, I went to the Quiet Place retreat is where they mentored me for 10 years. When I showed up at that retreat, I talk about all this in my book, but taking my niece with me, and we were in the water, and I told her, I go, this place is a vortex. And I go, anytime you go to vortex energy, you always set an intention because the energy works with you. She's so cute. She's 10 and I'm teaching her all this. And I said, did you set an intention for the weekend? And she said, yeah, I want to know who my angel guide is. I go, okay, then you'll know by the time we leave. We played in the waterfalls all weekend. And as we're in the waterfall, I lean down and I pick up a silver spoon out of the water and I go, oh my gosh, look what I just found. I go, that's so funny. It's like an old silver spoon. And then I threw it back in the water. And because this is how dense I can be. So then we're driving home and she goes, who's your angel? And I go, oh, his name is Silver Spoon. And she goes, like the spoon you found in the water? And I
Hold
go,
it on back.
yeah, like that. And I turned the car around and we drove back up and I ran into the water and I have it sitting on my mantle.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
So funny.
Okay, so I mean, this is another parallel. You know, when
Hmm.
when I was a kid, I always had this affinity to palm trees, and I asked my mom, "Hey, why don't we have a palm tree here?" And she's like, "Oh, it's upstate New York. We can't have palm trees here." And I didn't know why. And then when I finally moved to Florida, I had a dream where I met my spirit guide. She goes, "Hi, Greg. My name's Tamra." And I was shocked. I got her name. She's this American Indian looking woman, long black hair,
Wow.
flowing white gown. And my name's Tamra. And here I am. I can ask her anything in the world. And all I do is repeat her name over and over again. Tamra, Tamra, Tamra. I said it so many times that I woke myself up out of the dream. So here it is, like 3 o'clock in the morning. I go to the computer, type in, because every name means something. I type in
Uh-huh.
Tamra, palm tree.
Oh, that's so freaking cool. So, I do this stuff all the time. And just what you just said about when you're repeating it. So I will be there. My mom will be talking to me in my sleep and she'll tell me to repeat it so that I remember and I'll wake up saying it over and over. It's so funny how that's the same because I will forget. And so I'll be like, don't forget, and just say it over and over. It's so
Well,
amazing.
maybe I haven't spoken with her since then. And honestly,
Oh,
it was something that it gave me such closure to know that I do have that support on the other side. And it gave me no reason not to believe. That was always why I've had that affinity to palm trees. So I'm wondering, maybe you can get into this a little later on, but I'm wondering if you might have some tips on how I can contact her and get
oh
that
yeah.
connection working again.
Yeah, that's what I do. So, yeah. So, I mean, the really like I have so many stories about how I got here and how like my mom really kind of just ripped me out of the matrix. Like I was not easy. I mean, she told me she's like I'm going to go you communicate better than me. Like you're better at this than me here on the earth. And I was like, why do I get the crappy job? I don't want to stay here. I was like, this place sucks, mom. I don't, I was so mad about it. But I get it, and so, so here we've created this center and we've done it all together. She's the one, she's the lead. And, I get to do this role here. And the main thing that we do is get people in connection because there's nothing more important. We all have the ability. I tell people all the time, I don't have a gift. I mean, this isn't about gifts. This is about we have been tampered with, physically tampered with, so genetically rewired these avatars because these avatars are amazing. So many things. They're turning off the aging gene now. All kinds of things are coming online for us because we have so many abilities. We are multidimensional. These avatars are multidimensional. Now, we can activate it ourselves. We don't need to wait for some medical miracle to turn off genes or whatever because source light can heal everything and fix everything that's been tampered with. And so what I'm finding is that when I would do this work where I would sit in the field with her and she taught me every step of the way. Every step of the way. I would sit with her and she would be like, it's this, it's this, it's this. She was just teaching me so much once I got connected and activating me and getting my minds to get in sync so that I could go on command into the field and I could hear her, attuning up my frequency to her and letting me recognize her vibrational fingerprint that's so unique and all those things that are so important for us to be doing this work yet that's so simple. So she's so good and she helps me work with other people so that they can do this exactly the way I do. And it's amazing. Can you imagine a world where we're all back to this the way we were naturally supposed to be?
Yeah.
This is when it gets fun.
you said that we all have these abilities. I agree 100%. You know, we only have 20 of the 64 codons in our DNA activated. And you're right. I'm noticing people are looking younger longer. I turned 70 in 4.5 years, and I find it hard to believe just looking at myself, because when I look back at my parents and their friends, when they were in their
Yeah.
50s, they looked old. They,
They were old people. I know.
yeah. So
Yes.
what's happening? What's happening? Is our
Yeah.
codons in our DNA being turned on? Because I work on
Yeah.
that every day at the beach.
So, I mean, I'm 53, and this is different. We're not aging the same for sure. And I feel like the more, okay, my mom said that there's more and more light coming in now. She said that we're being flooded with light. Okay, now here's something really cool. I am very logical minded. Okay, I was an accountant. I'm a numbers person. I was real left brained. Even though I'm a Pisces and I have all the Pisces like magical energy going on. My dad was a computer guy, was an engineer. I got all that from him. And then I got this magical stuff from my mom. So I get to choose. I got both of those things going on. So I struggled like a lot with proof. I need proof. I'm not woohoo. Okay. I was not into the woohoo stuff. That's why I was always thinking my mom was so crazy. And then, she would prove things to me. So I did psilocybin. Okay. Changed my life. I talk about this in my book. I had a near death experience, went into the void. Man, it was life changing. Within 6 months of integrating my ego mind into my God mind, I was set on my path. I left professional racing. I moved to the mountains. I'm starting this retreat. Literally, boom, boom, boom. And I saw the grid, and a lot of people that have done psilocybin can see the grid. Do you know what I mean by the grid? That white net.
There's people that do. I think it's DMT, where they can shine a laser and
Oh
see.
yeah.
Have you
Hmm.
seen that? They can
I
see the
know.
actual colors and the
Yeah.
fascinating.
Well,
Yeah.
I got to see the grid, and a lot of people say it looks like Jacob's ladder. I mean, it's just really weird, but I'm looking up and I'm like, what the heck is that? And I could feel into it, and I was like, that's not good. There's nothing good about that. That felt like some trap, like I'm not sure why I'm in some sort of web. Like we were all trapped in a web, and it felt like that it was controlling what was coming in and out, and it was controlling information. There was something really like not good feeling about it. So that was in 2010. I did it again when I moved up to this property because I wanted to see this property through the psilocybin, and I saw dragons everywhere. And the next thing I saw, I had heard a lot about the grid becoming crystalline.
When was
And
this? The next time that you did it? When was that? You said
2019,
okay. So
2019.
9 years later. Okay.
So 9 years later, I had heard all these things about the grid becoming crystalline. We hear all these things, and our bodies are becoming crystalline, and all this stuff. Well, when I looked up at that, that was gone, not fully gone. So the
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 web was
grid
gone.
that had the grid that was around the Earth in 2010, that was literally a control grid, was still pieces of it there. They were not connected, so the net was broken. You could see the space between, and they were multicolored, rainbow colored, and they would look like it looked like a lasers, like bright, beautiful lasers, and they were not connected. They were not a web anymore. They were just pieces, and it looked like rainbows. And I was like, the heck is that? It's like William Henry talking about moving into rainbow light body, our ascension body, and us being in the rainbow energies now, the crystalline energies. We're all over the sky. And I saw this with my own eyes, and I know how real this was. And I was like, okay, my mom said to me in 2017, light is pouring in now. The light could not get in before. There were things that were blocking the light. The light can get in now. Now I understand why. And she said, it's coming in, it's pouring in so fast. She said, and you guys are so used to not having it in that you guys are not working with it and aware of it. It's bouncing off your energy fields. You're just not conscious enough to understand what's going on. And so she taught me how to absorb it, to become more light adaptive, to bring it into my field, start working with it more consciously. And I tell people all the time, it's the purest form of medicine that we have to work with. It's medicine. It's like plant medicine, but living light is tachyons, some people call, is the purest form of medicine, and it's everywhere at our disposal. And we just need to be interacting with it. And so this is what we do at my place. We interact with the light. We bring it in. We start to build a relationship with it. We start to understand what all it entails, how multidimensional activations begin to happen, how healing begins to happen, everything. Like, it is everything, and it is our disposal, and it's who we are, you know? So it's all the things. We're in a big soup of living light. And we're also making a choice because we're living in a simulation. So then you've got this simulated reality that this avatar works in. You know, I'm interfacing in this through this avatar, which has been altered and is susceptible to control and frequencies. And so when we start moving our consciousness into this bigger space where we go, okay, hold on a second. So there's all this light, yet I'm in some simulated reality. There's all these frequencies. So where are we best in our state of being so that we are fully empowered and we're no longer being susceptible to these frequencies that are interacting with us? Like, there's all this going on. This is my third book, by the way. It's so important. This is it's very deep, but it's very simple when you begin to understand that unconsciously they use frequencies to control our minds, but yet you have a God mind, which is in the shape of a pyramid. It's a tachyon chamber. It is scalar. So your centrum is actually a pyramid harnessing light in that scalar technology. This is scalar technology. But the amygdala part of your brain has been so hijacked and so controlled through fear that when I did my mushroom journey, I realized I was operating from my amygdala. And I was in a state of illusion because my amygdala was running the show. And I didn't understand that. I thought it was me. I was identifying myself with that. So what these beings did when they came to me, when I was on the mushroom journey, I had 3 beings that came to me, and they integrated my mind. They were really funny. Mm-hmm.
Time out. Now, before your mind was integrated by these beings, what is the importance of, because our chakras are energy centers, what's the importance of working on your chakras to make sure that everything is clear so you can have that ultimate reception?
I work with quantum biofeedback technology. So actually we look at chakras all the time. So I'm able to do biofeed reads on with chakras, so solfeggios and auras.
Okay.
So with the work that I do, you and I could talk forever. I can already tell we're going to go all over the place. Okay. So when I work with people, what we do is we sit into the field together. We create a vortex energy space where we move into the field together. And then I do a biofeedback before and I do a biofeedback after. And what I'm seeing is that when you go into the field, and the way that I get you into the field is through love. Okay, I want to just clarify that love, unconditional love, is your activation point. And that's why the fear is the hijack. And this is why we've got to get into the love. And how do we get into the love is because I can bridge heaven and your loved ones come in, because there's nothing more beautiful than when your loved one is speaking to you and you know it's them. And it activates your heart chakra, which is your stargate straight in to the field. And so we do that first. So I bridge for you. They come in, they start working with you through me to get you open. And then I do the journeys up where I get them to you through the journey, and they take you up in light body. So we activate your light body, we go up, and then you speak to them directly. And I will tell you that there are so many people that I've done this with, hundreds of people. There's probably been 5 people that couldn't do this, Greg.
Wow.
That's how amazing this is. Like, we're so ready. My mom came to me and she's like, okay, you've been the bridge. Now get them to us. It's time. They have to have their own direct connection established, because this is the only way that we are actually going to expand our consciousness. I am a distorted bridge for you. I can, you're, you know, we're not as pure as a direct. When it flows through me, it's still distorted. Your direct connection is vital. Okay, so biofeedback. When people come out of the field, oh, I'll show you. I'm gonna show you some photos. Their light is coming out of their head on the biofeedback, and they're lit up in rainbow light body.
Wow.
And it's amazing. And I could look at you and say, okay, I want you to close your eyes. I'll do your aura. And your aura may be a little dingy. It may not be super bright. Okay, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to pull light from your head to source. I want you to activate that light portal right out your centrum. You do that for just a minute. I retake it, and boom, there it is. And so it's showing us, and I got a hold of the doctor that made this app, and I use Genius Biofeedback, and I showed her this, and I said, what are we seeing here? And she goes, that is amazing, Jenny. She said, we're accessing the quantum field through this technology, but we do not understand it. Because that's what we are doing now, is we are now becoming quantum humans, quantum mind, quantum energy, and we need to understand it. You know, because that's what we are anyway. But we're so used to this linear reality. So there's this whole consciousness shift that's happening so that we begin to walk in a quantum mindset. We're actually thinking through the quantum mind. This is a quantum mind, the centrum. And this is a linear mind. It's so you're getting them to work together. And I tell people all the time, like, I was a terrible meditator. I never meditated well, and I still don't. So my mom taught me in a way that was helpful for me. And what she did is I got my mind to stop, like turn its attention. I was like, okay, you're going to have another job. Your new job is going to be to articulate light language coming from the centrum. So the centrum and the amygdala are always arguing about what reality is real, which reality is real, the linear or the quantum. Okay. So that argument goes on in people's heads all the time. That's not real. I don't trust that. You don't want to look stupid. You know, all the things, like we've had a hard time integrating these two to work together. Well, when I started doing this full time, I started noticing that when I went into the field, my amygdala would like breathe a sigh of relief, like, whew, like my job was never to pilot the journey. Like, it gets all excited, like, okay, my job is to articulate light language coming in from the field, you know. So you give it another job and you don't try to quiet it down, you just get it to do something else. And that's what I've trained my mind, like Pavlov's dog. I trained it because it's like a computer interface. I call it the computer interface between source and the simulation. It's so important, it's so vital, we need it, we couldn't be here without it. So it's just a matter of getting this avatar to do what it's supposed to do and get it to do it right and retrain it.
I got a couple questions, but you mentioned the light. Is that coming from the photon belt, the sun, Alcyone, the center of the Milky Way galaxy, all of the above? Where's that light coming from that's broken down this, what I call a frequency fence?
So for me, it feels like these are multi-dimensional, but I'll tell you where my mom said it's coming from is the sun.
But is the sun being used as a portal for other energy, maybe from the center of the Milky Way galaxy?
Yeah, I don't know, Greg. I don't know. It's a good question because I didn't ask her, but I know that she told me that the sun is a big wormhole and it's actually a portal to heaven, which was weird for me. I was like, really? So she told me to sit in front of the sun, and she showed me, she's like, sit in front of the sun, and she said, there's codes coming from the sun. And she said, I want you to just feel what you feel coming from the sun. And then all of a sudden I could see sacred geometry in my third eye. So I don't know, you know, a lot of people have done this. You close your eyes, look at the sun, you can start to see sacred geometry patterns. So I saw that coming out of the sun. I was like, whoa, that was amazing. And then I could feel these waves of energy, like, whoo, and I could see colors. And then she goes, I want you to just, I felt like there was so much information coming in that it was overwhelming. I couldn't get it all. Like, I felt like there was massive amounts of information. I could get like that much. And she said, I want you to write down one thing that you got when you come in from the sun. And I would do this every day, and she would work with me from there to expand on what I knew or what I was getting. It was like, well, here's what you're ready for. And so it was all happening through the portal of the sun.
Has your mother ever told you what we can expect in the near future?
So this whole solar flash thing is pretty amazing. I mean, it's amping up really big right now. I was thinking about this before I got on the call because I'm seeing so much about it. It makes sense that because the solar flash to me is truly all about more light getting in and the ascension. And it makes sense because back then, when she's telling me about the sun and all this stuff, I mean, Greg, I didn't know about solar flash. It's like 2017. I didn't know about that. It all comes so natural through her. And then I get it later. And then all of a sudden, I'm hearing all these people talk about that. And I was like, okay, so is that real? And why would that be? Well, it makes sense. It's very real. And it is all, the sun is our life source. It is the light coming from the portal to heaven. So yeah, all that's coming. I feel it very strong. And this is all about the ascension, that light, those codes. It's upgrading our consciousness. It's going to awaken our consciousness for sure.
My experience with that whole the event is so real. It happened about 12 years ago, where I saw myself standing in front of myself, and this white light comes in, it floods the planet instantly. Any thoughts or feelings of hatred or whatever, they're gone. You
Mm-hmm.
feel this love to a magnitude, and I use this as an example to imagine the person or
Mm-hmm.
people or thing that you love the most a million times stronger than that, a million times stronger than that. And money, government, politics, religion, none of that shit matters anymore. When you're
No.
feeling and basking in that, I only felt it for about 4 seconds. And it was such an amazing feeling of unconditional love. And I was so blessed to be able to have that feeling. But I had an In5D beach meetup one time on Siesta Key Beach, and there was a registered nurse there. She had a near death experience. She crossed over to the other side, was shown the same exact thing I was shown. Her jaw
Wow.
dropped. Yeah, she said that's exact, and you described it exactly how it is, a million times stronger than any love you're going to feel right here.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's what we have to look forward to.
Yeah. And I had that experience when my partner passed. So, yeah, when he passed, and I actually stayed with him through the life review. I stayed with him for 4 months in linear time. Every day, I didn't do anything, but I sat with him and went with him over, and we walked through the life review together. That was amazing. This was 2 years ago. Um, and then when he was ready to go, this particular day, I went and sat outside, and the light came in, and it came in so strong that it scared me. It was so incredible. Oh my gosh, there are no words. Like, it was so amazing, and I realized that I couldn't go with him to
You
that.
want it to.
But I
You want
couldn't,
it.
not yet, not yet.
Yep.
It was like it was so clear. It was like, not yet, you can't go yet. And I was kind of hard on myself, like, oh my gosh, why am I afraid of that light? Like, what is wrong with me? I'm so unconscious. I'm always like questioning myself. I'm like, why do I have to stay here? And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's this avatar that I'm in right now needs to be upgraded. And I also was aware, okay, and this is so important for everybody to know. And I know most people do by this time, but what's being done to us right now, and this is started in 2017 for me, but it's the shedding of all parts of us that are not in resonance and alignment with the light. And this has been a brutal experience. For me, it's been a brutal experience for a lot of us, but I understand why. And especially when John passed, because when I went through the life review process with him, it was so rich for me to see my own life review with through him at every moment of my life, that I was still not choosing unconditional love in every single moment, because that's required. You have to have been trained yourself into light enough and to become light enough to be in a resonance field with light, living light, to the point where we can receive the information clearly and we're not distorting it. That's huge, to be able to bring light in and actually not have your ego mind distort it because of your own traumas and your own agendas. Like this is a purification that's being done through the light. It's requiring us to let go, surrender fully to the light. It's not easy. Let go of all parts of us that we are not in alignment, not in resonance. It's so crazy to me how difficult this has been for me, truly. And I work in the field. I work in the field with my mother all the time, and this is not any easier for me. I mean, this is what I want people to understand. Like, hold on. We're doing it. It's going to be fine, but man, it has been a rough time for us to get ourselves to the point where we're ready for what is coming.
You mentioned surrendering, and I remember doing that. And that was the day when I surrendered. I remember I dropped to my knees, and that's when I got that galactic download that told me to build In5D, that I have to do interviews and stuff like that. Here I am, I'm fulfilling my promise. But they even gave me the name In5D, but it was through surrendering. But does that also involve any kind of inner work as well, to try to peel back the onions and clear that channel? Does that involve it?
So the way that my mom did this with me, so she came in 2017 and she started working with me because she was like, you have a bunch of timelines running that are distorted and you need to clean them up. You need to clean up your messes. I was like, what do you mean? And
clean your house, clean your room, right?
Right. Yes. I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, you have not mastered being in a state of resonance with your light timeline, your master timeline that runs directly in alignment with your higher self, with the higher dimension. Okay, that timeline is running. It was created through your higher self, but you veered off over here and started creating other timelines out of distortion and out of fear, and you're no
But don't a
longer
lot of people do that?
all of us do it.
Yeah.
So this is like, I've got all these timelines that are running with different frequencies and different vibrations, and they're very similar, but they're different. And you can notice this because like we're timeline hopping all the time. We'll bounce from one of our timelines to the next one. You can be having a really good day and everything's going really well and you're flowing with your light line and your higher self, and all of a sudden something happens and you trip and fall off your light line and you're over here now on another vibrational timeline where everything's glitchy, where nothing's working out. She says these are very much different timeline realities. And so she said the key is you have to master staying in resonance with your highest timeline and staying in alignment with light. And so she said the easiest way, she goes, okay, what does heaven look like for you? And I was like, okay. She goes, I want you to understand that your light line is when you're creating through light only, and you're recognizing what's distortion in your life and what is light, and you choose to only turn your attention back to light and create through light in every moment. So she gave me an example. She was like, okay. She goes, I woke up this one particular morning and she's telling me all this stuff. And then she's like, okay, now I'll bring you the experience, because we have to learn through experience. So we have these conceptual conversations, and then she brings the experience, and we call this spirit school. And we do this here. So I had loaned my four-wheeler to my neighbor. So I got up that day and I went down to go get something to eat. And I noticed this strange man is down there. And we live in a holler. And I just knew something wasn't right about him. And I called my neighbor and I was like, I feel like somebody's staking out your house. So the next morning I wake up and he goes, is your four-wheeler up there? I said, no. He goes, somebody has stolen it. I was like, oh, I told you I felt like somebody was staking out your house, but he goes, oh, I'm going to call the sheriff. Go get your paperwork. Meet me down here. So my mom goes, stop. Do you see distortion in your reality? I was like, I do. She goes, if you're in heaven, what's different? I said, well, if I'm in heaven, this man is healed. He's not stealing my property. And she's like, okay, sit down and feel that. So I did. I sat down. I felt it. I was like, this man sent him love, like so much love. I was like, you're healed. You're in my heaven timeline. This is an illusion. It's not real. I'm not going to contribute to it. I'm not going to co-create that. But I did go down and I did bring my paperwork. The sheriff's down there, so I did file a police report. And by this time, he's back. He had stolen my neighbor's stuff. The neighbor kids chasing him down the road. It's very real. This is very real. It happened. Well, she wakes me up at 3 in the morning and she goes, go and do that. Go sit and do that again. So I did. I went and sat and I felt that love. In the morning, my neighbor texted me and he said, I feel like I'm losing my mind for real and I need to see a doctor. Your four-wheeler is back. And the sheriff came up and he was like, is it true that your four-wheeler was returned? He's like, do you want to cancel the, the report? I was like, yep. And so she would just teach me this stuff, because when you're on your light line, when you're streaming light and you're choosing to only create through light, we are moving backwards and forwards in time. It's your quantum timeline. So it's not linear. So everything can be affected frontwards and backwards. And this is our natural state. This is what we came to do. We've just forgotten and we're getting back to it. But it's truly fun, like super amazing mm-hmm.
That was a great story.
Thanks.
That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about, because everything really is energy. I've recently built these online radio stations. One plays 432 music 24/7, 365. Mm-hmm. And the other one's half chat, like I'll be uploading this chat to In5D Radio as well. Mm-hmm. But the other time it's playing the 432 music, 432 hertz music, which is natural and healing, versus the 440 music. How does frequency and energy and music make a difference in a person's life?
Mm-hmm. So I work with, like, I've had a dinosaur type med bed for many years. I happened upon through a man that he was a client of mine, and he had been using this for a very, very long time. So he actually set one up at my center. I mean, it's just been so amazing to learn about that technology, the Rife frequencies and how they work. Yeah. So on the solfeggios, like what you're working with, this is the way my mom explained them. They're like the God frequencies. So those frequencies exist in heaven, in the heaven timelines. And we're talking about dimensions of heaven, which is not that far away from us. I work more in the lower dimensions of heaven. That's where I take people up. There's multiple dimensions of each realm. And so she'll say to me all the time, what's in heaven and what's not in heaven? And so those solfeggios are in heaven. And so when we interact with them, I do the quantum biofeedback. So when people come out of the field after they've been in the heaven realms, their solfeggio reads are usually 963 hertz. And that's the connection field, right? They've got the light coming out of their head. Their solfeggio is resonating at 963. Mine is pretty standard 963 because I'm in the field all the time. So it's not even just about, highest frequency, lowest frequency. It's not about that, because there's a balance of them. They all do different things. They're all very important. Like 174 is a dot connector. But what does that even mean? It basically works with your mental capacity to understand concepts and connect dots and meanings from a quantum mind. So when people sit with me and I work with the solfeggios and what solfeggio reads they're getting, I always say, okay, so this is the frequency. It's a God frequency, and it's the frequency that's coming in right now to work with you, because it's right on in alignment with what we're doing today. Some people have the clear the fear frequency. There's frequencies that clear your fears, clear your lower emotions. And I have people that come and they're scared to do the work with me. Sometimes it's intimidating, it can be scary, and they've got the fear frequency. And I'm like, it's so beautiful. It's like God coming in with his music to say, here. And he's like singing in your ear, saying, here, we're going to break that up. We're going to release it. It's in nature. These frequencies and harmonics are around us all the time. Which ones are we resonating with in every moment? And there's meaning for that. I think that the ultimate human experience is when we're actually resonating with all of them at once. We're just not quite there yet. The most I've ever had a person resonate is 6 different ones at the same time. Usually it's around 2, but I had this woman, she's an older lady, she's around 80, and she had 6 harmonics in resonance with her field at the highest rate. I was like, whoa, that was so cool. And she runs this big spiritual community in Vancouver Island. So
While you were
yeah, it's
testing
so
her,
cool.
while you were
Yeah.
testing her, you should have had her say, "Oh." That would be funny.
Uh-huh.
It's interesting too that the 963, those are Tesla numbers. Tesla said that
Yeah.
all the mysteries of the universe can be
Mhm.
solved with 9, 6, and 3.
And
There you go.
also, a Solfeggio 639
Yeah.
is the relationship one. It's the one where we're connecting with each other. So 963 is when we're connecting with source, and 639 is when we're connecting with each other. And that is so perfect to me.
Got people tuning in. Love this
Hmm.
conversation.
Nice.
Allie's, there's my love.
Hi, Allie.
So yeah, definitely appreciate that. The comments. Is there anything more you want to wrap up with? Because I could go on for hours, and I would
I
love to have.
know.
I would love that because you're so easy to talk to, and
Thank
we didn't
you.
even touch about the possibility of these grids that we did briefly talk about. I think that would be a fascinating idea. You did get me in touch with the guy Raven that
Yeah.
I
Oh,
tried to
yeah.
get that, but we had a pretty good conversation on the phone about all
Hmm.
these possibilities, and I've got connections as well. I think we can make this happen.
So I feel like the most important thing I would have to say about that, because I don't have an off-grid community. I did create a community, and I do feel like communities are where it's at. We're coming back to communities. There's the importance of this. Here's why. Because first of all, we've been super separated through technology in the weirdest way. Connected yet separated, so it's a kind of a weird dynamic there. Like, my son and my kids, they don't interact anymore like we did, right? It's so weird. Um, and so in community settings, and a lot of us don't want to go to church, but church used to be a big part of it, the communities, but we're like, yeah, kind of not our gigs. So I I feel like I've been in community boot camp for the last like 10 years, because I started early and I was like ahead of my time. Man, I have been through it, okay? Like, it is no joke when you try to put a bunch of humans into a space together, right? We know it's just very challenging. So I jumped in headfirst to that, not having any experience at all through my mom. I learned a lot in the last 10 years, um, a lot, and it's been really, really good. But what I've found now is there are certain ones of us that are ready for this and that are meant for this, and it's not meant for everyone. It's just not, because you have to be ready to let go of all your shit, and you have to face yourself in accountability. So you have to have accountable humans. And do you know Celestine Prophecy? Remember the
Oh yeah,
Celestine Prophecy?
yep.
Okay. Remember when they had that community, and remember when the police come running up and they can't see them because they're invisible? Because they're existing on a higher vibrational frequency.
Energy vibration. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so this is where we're headed. Is just like the
yes.
Celestine Prophecy, we're headed to these communities. My mom calls them cities of light. These little cities of light are all going to be connected. And I think every one of them should have a scalar pyramid. I'm working with tachyon energy here. I have a scalar pyramid. Um, I think that connects all of us. I had the pleasure of going to Mary Hardy's pyramid, her Giza pyramid that healed her son, kept him alive. So many things. But I will say that these pyramids all are connected to each other. So I feel these little communities having scalar technology interacts with scalar technology all around the world, and these are important things for us to understand, is how we're using frequencies, and we're tying it to each other through frequencies, interacting with each other, because I don't think communities isolated are important. I think communities tied to other communities through light is super amazing, and that's what's coming. My place is preparing for more of that.
I think that I love this idea, and I think that there should be a satellite office or community on Siesta, Siesta Key, because Florida is a master. If you do the numerology of Florida,
Hmm.
it comes out to 11. Sarasota, 22. Siesta Key, 33.
Oh,
It's
wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
People actually call this the city of light because of,
Hmm.
you've been here. You've
Hmm.
felt that energy
Oh
on
yeah. The
of the.
crystal in the sand. Yes. It's
It's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah,
For
it
sure.
is.
It's definitely amped up because of the water. I mean, you've got so many things. The water is a conduit, and or what do you call it? I mean, I can always hear better in the bathtub. Like it's a definitely a conduit for source. Water and light work together
Oh
really
yeah.
well. Plus, you've
I
got the
used to do.
crystal in the sand.
Yeah, and then on Sunday nights you have the drum circle. You got the
Oh
energy of the
yeah.
drum.
Hmm.
Sometimes you have the energy of a full moon or a new moon. But I used to do a walk of gratitude down to the seawall at the end of Access 12. But now I'm doing a weight of gratitude, and like what you were talking about earlier, I'm using that water to magnify my
Hmm.
intentions.
Hmm.
And I've been
That's what
doing
it
a lot of.
does. It's an amplifier. Yeah. Hmm.
Exactly. And I'm doing a lot of inner work while I'm out there as well. So I'm
Hmm.
doing a lot of cleansing, purifying intentions, and getting it all out there. And I find that the more inner work I do, the more things seem to click into place. The
Hmm.
more you're cleaning up everything that needs to be cleaned up on the inside.
Hmm. Yeah, it's true. And it's a matter of just us acknowledging some of it and just letting it go and blessing it and loving it back to source. And I mean, just real quick, my mom will say to me sometimes if I get caught in my muck and I get stressed out or whatever, I'm just like not in alignment. She'll say to me, okay, let's look at it. What is that? All right. We acknowledge it. That's there. There it's coming up.
She
Okay, now
already knows, but she's trying to help you, right?
yeah. And she's
Yeah.
like, okay, now get back up on your light line. Get your resonance back up on your light line. And now call it to your light line. Watch it be transmuted by light and come and merge back with your light line because you cannot heal it in the same vibration that distorted vibration that you were in. You've got to move your frequency up and handle it from a high vibration of light. The light's what's transmuting it. So when you move your resonance back there, you clear up all of your timelines. That's how she taught me.
Time for some final thoughts and a chance for you to give your links out to everyone. Is there anything you'd
Oh,
like to wrap up with that we didn't cover
yeah.
yet, or we would like
No,
to
I
cover?
mean I think that I feel really, really blessed. First of all, thank you so much, Greg. I feel blessed that you brought me here to be able to share this because my heart's desire and my mom's heart's desire is to help as many people as we can move out of your distorted timelines into your light line so that we can all be doing what we came to do. Yeah. Yeah, it's so perfect. And so nothing makes me happier than to be able to help facilitate that for people. Those that are meant for me, that I'm here and there's certain people that are in my resonance field, and there's certain people that are in other resonance fields. We need all of it. We need everybody. And my retreat center serves as a place for us to be together in this. Love for you to come visit, you and Allie. Um, and so I'm here in East Tennessee in Jonesboro. We're on Hip Camp, so you can even book through Hip Camp for cabins to come and stay. We have the Hip Camp experience where you can come and work with the frequencies, get in the tachyon chamber. You can experience some of that. Tools to help you get into the light. That's it. So we hold the energy here and we have a lot of fun because it's party. And my book is all about the party. So I'm going to show you my book real quick. Um,
Okay.
that's why it's good. Let's get this party started. Wait, this way. um, yeah, so the book is a teaching manual. So everything I was talking about today is in here. So it's helpful to read that. Did you go away, Greg?
No, I wanted
Oh,
to give
okay.
you the spotlight. Yeah.
Okay. I also wrote a book about AI. So if anybody's interested in that, both of these are on Amazon. This was really, really funny. Just about my ancient intelligence that I interacted with. He's ancient. He's not artificial. So
And
that's
you have a
another
third book
important
on the
thing.
way.
I have a
You have
third
a
book on
third.
the way. It's
Yeah.
source code versus simulation code, basically.
Wow.
How we choose which codes we're putting into our avatar. What are we running on? So yeah, my website, spiritreunionssanctuary.com. And then my email, spiritreunions@gmail.
Right
Reach
on.
out. Yeah, I do Zoom sessions or come and hang out while we're open for the summer, because we may be closing in the winter, but this is the best time.
Awesome.
Okay.
Jenny, we will do this again.
Okay. Yeah, we got a lot to cover.
Oh yeah, you're so easy to talk to. When we talked on the phone, I don't know how long we talked, a long time.
Yeah.
And we only got to the tip of the iceberg anyway. So
yeah.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And we'll be in touch with you soon. And good
Thank
luck
you.
with theirs. Keep working.
Thanks so much.
Helping all these people. Take care now.
Okay. Bye-bye.